Okay. Uh, let's see if we can get a new link out. Can everybody see? Okay. Everybody can see it now, correct? Boom. Only took 13 minutes to get me going. So apparently scheduling a stream, you can barely hear me now. That is because, how's that? Is that better? Is this better for hearing? How about now? That's quite a bit better. Okay. Well, now we are finally up and running after the slowest run of all time of getting me going. So if we schedule it, it automatically goes to a YouTube live stream and doesn't remove my camera and doesn't default to what OBS says. So that's going to be a little bit weird. We're just going to have to send the link out a little bit beforehand. All right, well, welcome everybody to the fray, and I hope we didn't lose the like hundreds of people that were in here before. That would be ridiculous. Okay, good. We're all in. C chart, but no audio if you're talking. Everybody else can hear me, Peerless, so hopefully you can now too. Maybe you need to turn your volume up. It's alive. It is alive. All right, so let's get going. Let's start talking. We'll give, I guess, about maybe 2 or 3 more minutes for people that missed the first link. You better take Goog off. Gosh, I'm so upset about that. I'm not gonna lie. I had it all lined out and didn't do it. And we're going to talk about that first, actually, once we get going. We're going to talk exactly about how that went and how sad that made me. So, of course, the chat just disappeared and left it gone. So that's a nice hot mess for me. That makes me real happy. We got this. Okay, so let's take a look at things. We're going to start with Google, and I'll walk you through some of these plays. Apologies for the confusion in the beginning. That was an absolute hot mess, but we are doing better now, and we are going to get through this. And next week will be a little bit smoother, and we will continue it being a little bit smoother and smoother and smoother until it all works fantastic every single week. And I cannot wait to do this every week, and hopefully I get a little better at it as we go along. How's that sound? Okay, so let's start with Google, all right? And then from there we'll just kind of take questions. The first thing I really want to show you is really how I draw my lines, because this question is asked all of the time, all the time. And I would really like everybody to see exactly what it is that I am doing when I'm drawing these levels. So I'm going to Goog right here. Okay, I've got my Goog up, and I'm just going to hit Greeks, and then all, and that's going to give me some lines. Okay, now it's a bit muddy right around here, so we're just going to grab this and we're going to zoom in again. Let me first say that the tradie auto levels are flawless. They're perfect. There's no need for you to be as OCD as I am, but it is something that I like to do, and you'll see why. And it's just one of those things where you can kind of find points of contention on the actual platform here to draw your lines and get some more precise lines. Anybody who follows my text tool or my chart that I post every day, that chart gives a really good idea and is pretty darn accurate. So first off, as I grab my lines right here, I choose this, and then I draw a line. And then I look for a place right around the gex level. If you look here, that candle matches up a little bit. The bottom wick of that one matches up a little bit. I draw the line. If I draw it below, I come here and I drop below and I get a number. Now let's test this one here. Right around this top level right here has really been our biggest point of contention if we see the candles up and down. So then I grab it, and since it's above, I drop it above. Now here comes the secret sauce coming up next. All right. From here, what I do is I draw these lines and I still look for some points of contention around those areas. So let's see what we drew here. Google Stock Dashboard 103.22. So we've got one at 103.34 right here. But if you look, if I drag down just a little bit, you're going to see right around 103.18, 103.20, a lot more action that's a lot more precise. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, I'm looking at chat. How is it going? No questions so far? Yes. Fine tuning. Okay, so that is how I draw my lines like that. Okay, so if we just switch to SPY really quick, we would see that my lines were pretty accurate today. But right now, we're just going to take a look at all the data from Google. Okay, so we're going to go over here. We've got our Google stock dashboard. We've drawn our levels. If we come up here, we're going to see where we rejected. This was the level that I had. I put this out Sunday evening, maybe Saturday, saying 108 roughly was our reject spot for Google for our short. Look at that. I didn't take my own position. I got shaken out by the trading flows. I took a 5% win. I had to average down on some puts. It ran up major and rejected at the end of the day. If I would have entered there, weeklies went 3,300% from here to here today. I tracked them all day in sadness. I will say that I did short from about here to here because I was mad at Google and I wanted my money back. All right. So when we're looking at these things, we've got our levels drawn. All right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go to the option summary and we want to check the dark pool area. So what we're looking for, okay, what we are looking for is some correlation between the tools to show us that this might be a probability of it going down. So what I like to think of as the golden egg, the trifecta of amazingness, is I want to see its dark pool sentiment going down. Okay, that's number one. Number two is I want to go through its dealer back test and I want to see how it's looking. Okay, so I want to check the performance of buy under zero and short over zero. We've been over zero, correct? So its win rate is very good. Okay, so let's look at that again. As we can see here, its opportunity to be shorted is shrinking a little bit. You see how high we were over these past few days and how much we dipped today? This is slowly shrinking. So at some point, it's going to come down here and it's going to tell us we need to go long again, which still gives us this fantastic win rate. So I'm looking for, number one, I want dark pool sentiment to match up on my play. I really, really, really do. If I don't have that, and I don't do this on every play, but I would say anything that I'm thinking about swinging, I'm wanting to see this match up, and I'm wanting to see the dealer Greeks, the position of them matching up, okay, to see where I would want to where I would want to enter. And then the third piece of that puzzle is I really, 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 really want to remain patient and draw out my levels. So I attempted. I think yesterday I rode Goog up on its first run up. So I think I got shaken out down here, and I think I rode it up to maybe here, and then I sat on my hands. I thought it was going to not go anymore. It came down a bit, then it really ran. I did not catch this at all. At that point, I'd already finished. I'd made my money for the day, and I was in awe. And I told myself, let's short here, hit our zone, but I did not do it. So the three things I'm looking for: patience on levels. Okay, number one, I'm going to enter if I'm swinging at key spots. Now this would have been a terrible spot to enter my short yesterday because it ran up $3 more. So when I do look for a swing, I buy in quarters. So if I'm putting, we'll just say $1,000 towards a position, I would have bought $250 worth of cons, which would have been about 2 cons for a week out, right? I wouldn't have played a weekly this late in the week. And then as it rose up, if it went up more throughout the day, right, at this spot, I would have bought 2 more cons right around that spot, and then that would have been my breaking point. Okay, at this point, if it starts to drop, this is where I would average in more. Okay, as it starts to go down, it would have happened if it wouldn't have dropped so much today. Let's say it dropped to around here, I would have averaged in more. It's okay to average up. At this point, you're winning already, maybe by only 10 or 20%, but you are winning, and you have time. Oh, how do I draw the dark pool levels? Let's see here. Let me scroll through chat. Okay. Let's see here. Audio just got real good. That's good. Yeah. I think OBS is just taking some time to do stuff and get it working right. So DP level SPY is how I draw my dark pool level. Somebody answered that for me. Gee, thank you, Crouch. I go into Discord and I pretty simply type TR DP levels then SPY, and I use that bot ping to draw my levels. I rarely draw smaller levels under like 10, 15 billion unless those levels do line up with a GEX level as well. So if they line up with a GEX level, I will 100% go ahead and put it on there because that's quite powerful. And if we pull up SPY's chart for yesterday, let's just take a look. We've covered Google. If we pull up SPY's chart from yesterday, oh, it's not bringing up my, oh, let me load up the proper one. If we load it up, you see here we had a 9.7 billion DP and a GEX. Look at that level we hit yesterday. So I put those in different colors to remind myself that they may take more credence, and oh boy, they take more credence. So that was pretty crazy, right? And we also yesterday topped out at 416. Boba, you said that. I did say that we had a ghost zone up to it, and we did. How far in the red do you need dark pools? Fantas, I just want it to start going down, especially if I'm buying 2 or 3 weeks out. If I'm seeing the dealer Greeks start to match up, I'm seeing the dark pool starting to decrease, and it's nearing a level that I want to start shorting at, I definitely will start buying a little bit, like I said, in chunks. For swings, I will buy in chunks. For scalps, I will buy a lot at once because I don't plan on being in there for more than 5 or 10 minutes. I hope that answers your question, Giovanni. How far in the red? Okay, let's see here. What does negative gamma level do? Gasper, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't pay attention to the negative or the positive of the gamma levels, ever. I know they're important. I think KFAT talks about them a lot. He's makes stellar videos. It's an insanely intelligent human being. I let MNF dictate where I think those levels are going. So if we're having a really bearish day, I don't really care if it was a negative or a positive because we're going down to it. And if we look at SPY's chart today, we managed. I messed up this morning. I said I thought we'd chop in between this range here in my pre-market prep video. That was obviously a massive lie, and we chopped in between this level all day. So my apologies for being one bar off on where we went. I did say we could get down to here, though. So I guess I'm not a massive liar. Excuse me. I still have my cold a little bit, but feeling better. All right, what other questions do you all have? I am really here to try to help you all out and kind of walk you through things. Can we see the GEX levels and the dark pool levels in the Discord bot? You can type TR dash GEX and then type SPY and get some of the GEX levels, but I think you're going to have a little bit more difficulty than seeing them live. Okay. Steve, you answered that question correctly. Okay, let's see here. So you can get the DP levels. Discord is TR DP levels SPY, and GEX levels are TR GEX levels SPY, but I still draw my GEX from the actual web. It's a little bit easier. How often do I redraw GEX, Fantas? I redraw at 9:30 my time, which is an hour into the session, 9:30 Central. And then I check again around noon my time, so I guess 1 o'clock Eastern. I know a lot of people go by Eastern. And then I don't look at them again at the end of the day because I'm actually off teaching the rest of the day, and I don't get a chance to check the levels until the next morning. So I do redraw them for my pre-market prep video. Let's see here. Somebody asked, where do you find my pre-market prep video? That's on the official Tradie Ticks Twitter. Tell you how to cook cheesecake, please. I don't know how to do that. Dark pools work the same as GEX a little bit with price. The heavier the level, the more chances there are that price will gravitate towards it. But you need MNF, you need market net flow to pull or push in that direction towards that dark pool. Okay, so somebody said let's take a look at Tesla. So we have Tesla and AMD. Let me just answer some of these questions. Cardio Rudy, you can just watch the first like 3 minutes of the video when it's all done and give it a shot. Okay, so question for Yesh. Yep, Baxter answered that. How do you get the levels for SPY? We draw them out. And if you go back to the YouTube channel at the very beginning of the video, we drew them out. Actually, you know what? We're going to go through and we're going to draw Tesla out real quick. How's that sound? So everybody can see how I draw those levels again. So let's go ahead and get in here, and we'll grab Tesla, and we're gonna look at the whole process and just kind of go through it and see what we get. All right. So let's scroll down. Remember, I don't pay much attention to this as often because there's just a lot of things there, and I like it just a bit smoother of a line. So Tesla is dark pool is climbing. Obviously, that is going swimmingly for Tesla. It continues to rip. Its dealer Greeks are slowly starting to shrink here. So buy under zero, short over zero gives total returns just simply of 263%. So as you can see, as these started to grow, price started to go up. They're starting to shrink a little bit, so we want to pay attention to this to see if they start to get above, because that's when we might start thinking about shorts. But for now, our deltas are still down here, so price still has a chance to go up. So let's put 2 and 2 together. Dark pool is increasing. We still have negative dealer deltas, which means price should go up still. May not be as aggressive, but it still should. Now let's draw our Greeks. Holy moly. Let my old eyes zoom in here a little bit. So we've zoomed in on our daily. We've clicked our Greeks. We don't have a point of contention there, so we're just going to draw 211. These are just about the same. Looks like we wicked off the top there a little bit. Right there looks good. 211. 201. Whoops. Apologies. $184. And that's a difficult one. We'll just put it there. And 173. So let's go ahead and load Tesla up. And let's look at our levels. So our first level above us is 211.35. Good gravy. Close enough for now. Our next level down is 201.08, so right around price already. And if you look at that, we had some wicks right around here, so we could move up to the top of this wick for that point of contention to show we had one there, one there. That makes a little bit of sense. One there, one there. So that's a bit more of an accurate level if we're drawing it out that way. And then we have them down to 184.65, which is quite a bit down. So we're just going to slap that one on there and not put that bottom one. We're going to click auto so we can see a little bit more. Actually, we probably need to go out to the daily to see all these. Shows you where we are price-wise, okay? And then, you can also, if you start to see GEX appear up here, which would be absolutely wild, then something's amiss. There could be some craziness happening. So right now, our GEX above is 211.39 roughly, okay? So our chances of going there while it's dealer Greeks and its momentum is going is fairly high, I would say. I don't play Tesla often. It's one of my favorite Lotto Friday plays, but just weekly and monthly, I don't mess with it very much on the day-to-day basis. So that's that level there. If more GEX appears up top and we're still continuing in the bullish momentum, it could obviously rise. If we don't see any more GEX above this 211, then we see the dealer Greeks start to flip quite a bit and start to go above. We see what happens when they go above. Price starts to decrease. We start to see our dark pools going down. Then obviously we know to start maybe looking at some shorts here or there. Yep, let's see here. Let me scroll through questions just to see where we're going. AMD is next. Let me just see what's going on. What time frame MNF? I'll answer a couple questions before I move on to the next ticker. David, I watch mainly the unfiltered, but I keep an eye on flow line as well, just to be safe, because sometimes in a choppy market, flow line may push price around. Let's say puts are above calls and we're getting near a support. You might see calls rise up on flow line on other frames that might push the price up a little bit for a rebound. Let's see here. I will check Nvidia and Microsoft after I do AMD. Within Stocks dashboard, which of the dark pool levels of exports will provide the same data as the Discord bot command? They will be different, Rich. They will be about the same as what you see on the main screen there with all the lines. So you're going to get a few more lines than I would add. What is more powerful, GEX or dark pools? I would think GEX are, because that's really based on the Greek exposures, which is going to get you that push and pull that's going around. So I think that's pretty consistent there. Let's see here. What could be a Tesla target? I don't really do that too often. The actual targets, I draw out levels. Now that I've drawn them out on Tesla, I'll look if we hit 211. I'll look if we hit 211 and see if there's any dealer shifts, any dark pool shifts, anything like that. Giovanni, the reason it's not showing is because I don't chart Tesla. So my chart was blank on Tesla until now. It's not a ticker I play, like I said, so it's not something it's not something that I look at very often. If you go to some of my other tickers that I pull up, you see lots of information on there. And if it's something that I'm just looking for a long swing, I might not even add a dark pool. I might just add GEX. I mainly put my DP levels on SPY. That's kind of the most important one, is that's my scalp target every day. All right, so AMD is up next. Let's get this done, huh? AMD, and AMD. All right, so taking a look at AMD, we've seen some decreasing dark pool sentiment, which is good for a short. But as you can see here, we're starting to taper off a little bit here. Doesn't mean the short's over, just mean that it could be getting close. Dealer Greeks, pretty simple. Very nice consistent win rate when our deltas are below 0 for our back test. So that's good that's good so far. So right now it still shows a little bit more downside. Potentially, obviously, you have to play these things out. And then let's look at our levels. I do believe last time I looked at AMD, there were so many GEX levels that I got salty and didn't draw it. Yep, that is what's going on there. Excuse me. Let's go to the 5 minute, see if we can get a little bit of a cleaner look. There we go. That's a fun tip. If you go down on a time frame, sometimes you can get those levels spread out a little bit. Excuse me. You can get those levels spread out a little bit and kind of get a little bit better review. They will be tighter at that point. So we have 85.34. This looks to be a good spot right here if you look at all the wicks. $86.65. Obviously, we're looking for some potential downside targets. Let's look where we have right here. Right about there. Yeah, that's not a very interesting spot to me. It really is pretty much right on that line. So we'll check it on the live chart here in a few seconds. 84.63. So let's pull up AMD. Oh, looks like I did draw all these. My God. I haven't changed them in a bit, so we'll just drag this one up. 84. That looks to be a really good spot right there. So the 84.63 is pretty close. 85.34. Do we have one there? Look at that. We draw it up to there, and we get a couple of wicks rejected off of here. So that's pretty good. And 86.65. Same spot, looking pretty good. We've got some around here. We could drag that up maybe to right there and get a few more simple rejects. Candle there, candle there, candle there, candle there. How does that look to everybody? Does that make sense? Fantas, the reason I do not copy the trading code and paste it in the charts is because if you look at the way I draw them, they're a little bit more. I'm just OCD. The answer is I'm OCD, and I do not like to do that, even though they're insanely accurate and they work extremely well. I would prefer to draw them myself. So I'm kind of a ridiculous human being, and I apologize for that. Yep. I just like it that way. I just prefer manual. It's the way I work. Gex Vex chart, can you explain it, ET? No. Yes, I actually cannot. The chart befuddles me. It is smarter than I am. So I cannot answer that one, and I apologize for that. Um, my apologies there. I draw on the boundaries of the red levels. Fantas, I draw on points of contention around candles at the Gex levels. Abid, I do not know how to do that, but there are instructions on the web page for it that are pretty simple. It's just a copy paste, I do believe. I should practice. Last week I promised I would practice that to show you all, and I did not do it. So I sincerely apologize. I got a little busy with work. Gajong, yes, um, you should add dark pools if you think they're sizable for sure. Crouch, are you asking what my Twitter handle is? You just follow the Trady Ticks Twitter. That's where I do all of my tweeting. My personal Twitter handle is for shit posting pics of my dog and rap music, basically. But you can follow me for fun because I'm awesome and I'm funny. You cannot use convergence on every ticker. It's just for market net flow. Let's see here. How do you decide to exit after entry? Is it level to level or fixed for profit? I, Giovanni, go a little heavy when I'm scalping, so I will start to scale at 10 to 20%, almost always, and then I will leave runners towards a level, as long as we have a strong directional MNF. You know, if I played a reject on puts, and market net flow is still bullish, I'm going to scale out fast, very fast. If market net flow is bearish, I am going to hold towards the nearest level below for a quarter of my position, but exit 3/4 of my position at 10, 20, 30%. Sometimes a reject hits so fast. Sometimes the reject hits so fast that you completely you end up at 30, 40% before you can even click sell. So and bounces happen the same way sometimes as well. Gap fills, do I value them? No. You cannot see dealer net long short in the Discord bot. Not at the moment. No. AMD still looks to be going down, Siraj. That's what that data says. Is it possible to add charm effect in charts? Yes, I have no idea. I don't use charm, so it may be possible. I'm a very simple, smooth brain trader. There's a good one. Can you look at MNF for today and show us times you thought were interesting and what to look for? Sure, let's pull SPY up. Oh, hold on. Let me load SPY. All right. So this was a fairly simple day as far as levels went. We rejected early, and we came down. And let's just look at MNF here. The cross happened fairly early in the day, okay? And right around here is where we saw convergence, which is 10:25, which would be, I believe, Eastern time. So let's move along. I think I'm an hour behind here. Okay? I think it's like right here where we hit it. So as we saw that convergence and we saw the split running, okay, this is our short area. All right. As soon as I don't pay attention to size of bars, by the way. I don't. I just look to see if there's red. As soon as I see gray, I scale out. Right, and let me be clear. That is through any position that I am in. So I did not actually play SPY today. Once I shorted Google, and I think I shorted Apple. I shorted BAC. I did not short really anything. I did not short SPY today. But I do watch this to exit my shorts if they are shorter term. Okay, even if, and longs vice versa. If we've got big green bars and then all of a sudden we see gray, I am going to sell off of my longs as well. I kind of pay attention to those to the three things when I'm holding my runners. I pay attention to the actual MNF. I also take a look to make sure flow line's not doing anything really crazy, and then I look at my convergence as well for some exits. Webull is where I mainly day trade, and they don't allow trailing stops, so I kind of have to babysit it a little bit, and that can be difficult at times. That's why I scale out so quickly. I'm scalping SPY options, not stock. The only stock I own in my short-term account is a couple bands of UVXY for some crash protection. Significant levels, Giovanni, for dark pools, I would say significant levels are one if they line up with if they line up really well with a GEX level, that's significant, and then it depends on the ticker. It really depends on the size. If you look at AMD and you look at their dark pool levels, you can kind of check to see the size of them, and the size is relevant to the ticker, if that makes sense. Your Greek levels are your GEX levels, near door. MNF resets every day. Gex. Okay, so yeah, Rich, for my Gex levels that specific day, am I only using Gex and Dark Pool? Monster answered you, but I'll answer you too. No, I'm not looking at macro TA. The market's going to do it at once. I'm just there to get my free money and get out before the end of the day. It's pretty simple how that goes. Thank you, everybody, for answering questions for me. Well, Bhavana, to have a buyer, you have to have a seller. So dark pool levels means someone bought stocks at those prices. They can include selling as well, buyers and seller. We don't know the direction though. We don't know the direction of dark pool levels. We just know the amount, and we know the amount and we know the spot, but we don't know if they're bullish or bearish. Okay, let's see here. We still have Nvidia, I believe, and Microsoft. So let's pull those up real quick, and then I saw Coinbase pop up next. We'll do a ticker. We'll answer some questions, and then we'll move along. So sentiment here is starting to decrease or move towards the upside slowly. So it could be nearing the end of the road of what it's been up to. Wow, that is impressive. Look at that win percentage too. Huh. That's interesting. So we've got negative dark pool sentiment. Dealer back test shows us pretty far down. While I point out it's been rising a little bit. So this is saying this is a mixed bag really, because this is saying it should go up some more. While this is shrinking a little bit, so Nvidia may still have some legs in it, right? Because we don't want to short. We don't want to short till we see the dark pool up here. We want to short over zero on Nvidia, right? And we went along under zero. Let's look at the Greeks. See what kind of, oh my gosh, you guys, I don't want to draw that. I don't want to draw that at all. That's interesting. Really, the top of this gex is where we've seen the most. If you look right here, if we drag it up a little bit, those wicks, all right, that's where we've seen the most most action. 225.78. Would you look at that? See what I mean by giving them a nice hand draw? 225.71, pretty close. So it looks like Nvidia could potentially have some room up. Oh, we did Google earlier, Duck. So if you just watch the first like 5 minutes of the video once this ends, you can see Google again. Question: is everybody having a good time so far? Are you learning? Just let me pretend like everybody is having a good time here. Thank you for answering those questions, Stephen. Yeah, difference of the red and green gex level, Giovanni. I covered that earlier. They are positive and negative, but I do not differentiate between them when I draw them out. Pretty much, I just draw them and then I let MNF decide which direction I think they're going to go. No, we're not doing BBBY or Crocs. No garbage tickers tonight. Maybe next week. Deal? Well, oh, 7. Sorry, 7 Campbell, not Stephen. My goodness. Campbell. You don't have to do that. I mean, to each their own. You know what I mean? I trade differently than that. I don't use spot gex. So, but yes, spot gex does make it more clear. You don't have to inverse the the colors when you're using spot gex. Okay, so we had Microsoft next. I will tell you all, and Campbell brings up a good point, everybody trades just a little bit differently. So it's not necessarily there's wrong to use a different tool than I would use. I'm just walking you through how I use them each week. And this week, every week will be the same. We'll just go over tickers and we'll look at them together, and it'll be just kind of midweek or end of week homework session, which will be on next Wednesday, and then we're going to move to Sundays after that. All right, so let's look at Microsoft. Dark pool sentiment's pretty okay. For the upside, let's see what Dealer Greeks say. I'm going to go ahead and say they are the same. Not as good a returns as we'd like to see on the Dealer Greeks there. Oh my God! All right, let's move. Let's grab this top level really quick. Then we're going to move right about there. Yep. 278.10. I drew that wrong because it looks like it's right there. Sometimes they're a little bit imprecise when I draw them, so I have to check the chart and where it rejected, and that's okay. Let's move down to the 5 minute and see if we can get a clearer picture here. Oh, really? We really do. So 270. 266. Wow. What a closing price. 26666. Nice. 26688. Right around there. We've got some wicks off of it. Okay. So, I mean, according to the dealer Greeks and the dark pool, it still could have some room up. Looks like its rejection spot on that big run up yesterday would be a decent spot. Do we prefer to follow MNF or individual ticker flow? I follow MNF pretty much religiously, and I don't look at the ticker flow on the other things as often. Hey, you're welcome, Rich. Thanks for all the questions. No, we're not doing SoFi either. Sorry, I love all of you, but no small caps. They scare me. I don't like them. That's very good, HP. If you change the momentum on Nvidia, the delta position may change. We have to do our own work to have a directional opinion. Yeah, I mean that's really, I mean what we're doing here, and I really like that point, HP, is we're kind of practicing just a little bit, right? We're just running through and we're showing kind of how to go through the motions. We're looking at things together, and we're just seeing exactly how we can do those things and how we can start to form our own personal thesis each week with each ticker. And then if you're in the Discord, we talk about these a little bit throughout the weekend. We kind of start posting. We kind of start posting things throughout the weekend, things we're looking at. Near door, you can get a lot done with the Discord, but the website's pretty important. You can use the entire website from your mobile browser, from your iPad. You don't necessarily have to have a browser open. I am mobile about 90% of the time, so I view TV on my phone, TradingView on my phone. I view NetFlow on my phone. I look at the dealer Greeks on my phone. All those things happen throughout the day. From my Pixel phone. So you don't necessarily have to have a web browser open. It would be a little bit easier to see for sure, but that's up to you. Let's see here. Other questions. Karma Algo, you got to follow him on Twitter, and sign up to be in the Karma Algo. How do I like the algo, David? I did not look at it today at all. I have no idea what it did with SPY, to be honest. I watched SPY and I tweeted about SPY because that's one of the main things we looked at, but I traded other things all day long. So I'd have to next week maybe take a look at it. And see what it shows us on SPY. I don't have it on right now. What other questions do we have? We've covered all the tickers, minus, I'm sorry, SoFi and VBBY and Crocs, of course. Laggy, you in here for Crocs or what? Is that what's going on? For anybody that knows, that's his favorite. I do too, David. But I've really taken a small 2-session break from hitting SPY all the time, and mainly because I'm testing out some of these dealer Greeks, and I'm looking at some different levels, and I'm trying to look for a very, very solid swing strategy that involves a little bit of patience, a little bit of setting some price alerts and waiting for things to go my way and then rechecking. So I've been making most of my money on Google, Amazon. I missed Uber. I'm up 3% on BAC puts right now. If anybody wants to just know how awesome I am, made it up 3%. Oh yeah, slap our Uber watch up there. Let's take a look at this. This is gonna be fun. So this is what we were talking about in the Discord today. If you guys are in guys and gals, if you are in, we don't need to look at drawing the level because we did that earlier together. If you're in Tradie Ticks, if you're a member and you're not in the Discord, come on in and join the MNF channel. We do this stuff all day long. We can get a little rowdy, but we're a new and improved rowdy. I would just like to add out, we're PG-13 rowdy instead of whatever we were before, which was a little crazy. We're substantially less crazy. So this is interesting. Bearish dark pool print. It says amount 37.6. Let's just look at the chart really quick. Look at where we rejected. Okay, that's number one. That's pretty interesting. Now taking a look at its dark pool sentiment is decreasing quickly. And that's pretty interesting because it has been on a massive run. And then we're going to do just the simplest back test of the deltas. And we're going to say when they go up, we short it. And that's got some pretty good results. So we were talking about this earlier, is all of us would really like to see this level. There is a level up here to pay attention to. So if it breaks this hard on a really green day, I definitely will not enter a short here. If it continues to reject here, I might. I don't know. It just really depends on really the scale of the market that day and what's going on and how it's behaving. Uh-oh. Amazon puts are not in my watch list as much anymore. I hit them hard yesterday, and that made me really happy. Here's why. DP sentiment keeps going up. So, like I said, I kind of want that. I want that trifecta, right? I want dealer Greeks and DP sentiment to match up quite a bit, and we're getting there. I mean, we're there on dealer Greeks, right? That's one hell of a percentage. That's amazing. That's something that we really do want to see, but I'm not ready yet. Not with this high. If I saw these bars starting to go down, I think I'd be a little bit more excited for it. And we're still sitting kind of, you know, we're right below that. It's largest dark pool. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know. I'm not ready on Amazon yet. Give me some more time. Good question, Anand. I haven't gone really into the different momentums yet. A little bit, you know, I did some in the video I made for Tradie the other day, but for the most part, I'm just looking in the beginning for just the base, and then I might dig in a little bit deeper once I start to see things line up. But I haven't really messed with that aspect much. I'm so simple. I just look for 2 or 3 signals to line up, and then I go hard. I wait for my levels. Yeah, HP has the answer. I think he was asking HP how going through the momentum will change my decision making and my entries and exits. UNH. Let's see. Is this a garbage ticker? Somebody tell me now before I get upset. Oh no, it's got real price on it. It's going up there. That's pretty good. Step 1. It's got a decent algo flow. Step 2. It looks like step 2 is so. If we're at buy under 0 and a short over 0, if you look here, its DP sentiment's going up, but it looks like it's getting close to a short time. You too, Gajong. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Okay, a couple questions. Do I use Tradie Flow and do I use Bullseye? No, it is not a garbage company. You're right, HP. Are you an actual computer just in here typing? This is kind of scaring me now. You have pretty good answers. I don't usually mess with bullseye. I will say that I will click every once in a while when the market's going kind of nuts, one direction or another, and I'll click the filter for bullseye. Let me show you here. Let me just get to it. Direction of MNF. All right, if I'm looking for a scalp and everything's already crapped the bed, and there's some things up, I might look for a bullseye that's the direction of MNF for a lagger in the direction. That is something that I will do. A lot of times I will use some macro. Where are we at in a month? I'll get to that one next. That's funny. A lot of times on Fridays I will look for Tesla directional in bullseye with the same direction as MNF to see if it's lagging. So sometimes it will be, you'll see SPY go up, Apple go up, but for some reason Tesla's down a little bit, and then I'll slap a few lottos on it, and those sometimes are just ridiculous plays if I see them match up. That's one that I look for occasionally in an Nvidia or an AMD or an Apple, see if there's anything in there. I don't like to play too many tickers that I don't know well, and I only trade a handful generally. So the Dealer Greeks has moved my experience out a little further, and I'm trading a few more things that I hadn't before with some success and some misses as well due to impatience and not following my own rules. Everybody can make those mistakes, that's for sure. Interpret dark pool data one more time. Green bar is your... Oh, interpret is just think of dark pools as support and resistance, Westford. That's the easiest way to look at it. Just interpret every dark pool as a support and resistance line, which is the same way we look at GEX. All right, Lech? I don't know how to say that. I'm going to call you B. That seems way better. Forgive me, I'm putting a cough drop in, so that way maybe I stop coughing on you all. So macro, and I'm not much of a macro person, but I will say I've been trading quite a while, and about a decade now, and I do not think the market is going to continue to go up for a long time. I really don't. I think we have some potential tops coming up, and I think we should meet those at some point. If you watched the pre-market prep video this morning, I was pretty clear we needed a pullback before we could get back up. You know, we can't just, after a day like yesterday where we just ramped up, you know, to these two big levels. I mean, that's a lot of space to cover once, then all the way down to our DP and our GEX, that's twice, and then, my goodness, 408 to 416, an $8 move in one session. So that's not a healthy market. All right, that is volatility beyond belief. And so I thought we needed a pullback. We got one. I still think we have more potential for up, but it's starting to get to the look below. Watch out below. HP said it very well. What's the most powerful tool after MNF? You know, I really like Tradiflow. I really do. I know that was pretty vague, B. It's hard to tell an entire public, and for the thousands of people that are going to watch this afterwards, I think the market's going to crash or rip. It's more than likely going to do both, and I'm not sure at which time either one is going to pull off. So no idea on that one, to be honest. Layman's terms, what's the difference between positive and negative GEX levels? Where's 7 to answer that question? He likes the positive and negative GEX levels. I start trading after 10. That is about right, Casper. Would MNF be good for scalping at market open? No, Sam. I ignore it. early in the morning. I will say there are times that when I see something that I like quickly and it doesn't have anything to do with MNF signals or anything else, I may very quickly hammer calls or puts it open. But that's really just I've been looking at the market a very, very, very long time. And sometimes I just see exactly what I want and go for it. And that doesn't mean that that works out every time either. There are times that I'm positive I should take puts at a certain spot immediately, and I get shreked out and get the big green candles, and I'm hosed, and my stop hits, and then that position is gone. So that is possible. TLT. Okay, we'll review one last one. Pretty mid there. It's going down though. So this is an inverse. I don't really like anything about that. I know that's not the best answer you've ever seen. Hey, welcome, Siraj. I very much enjoy making these videos. I think Hater likes me making them as well. Hopefully, let's keep ET employed, right? This is the most fun. Gex, the ghost zones in between Garcia, where the Gex are, that's probably a little bit. Well, the ghost zones in between is where price travels. The Gex do work a little bit like supply and demand. You could say that. If you put SD on your screen, you can see that sometimes supply and demand happen around a Gex level as well, which would make sense if that's where options are heavily populated, right? It would make sense that the supply and demand could also match that. Sometimes, if you put them on, you'll see a supply or demand area way below or above, and it'll seem weird, and it just doesn't get to it. I've found that Gex is just substantially more accurate. Price distribution. Sam, we covered kind of things that we look for in swings a little bit early on in the session. So if you watched once this post when it's ended, I talked about Google, about one I wanted to swing and that I missed. All of Monst and I are very upset about it. We're not happy at all. Can you rely on price distribution? I don't know. I don't really look at that. Here's the thing: there are traders out there whose brains far exceed my knowledge after 10 years of trading. And I had a mentor before I started that was just an old guy that taught me, and he basically told me support and resistance would be my bread and butter. Gex have become my new support and resistance. The massive amount of tools that TT has available, I have learned because I love teaching. That was my previous job, was a full-time teacher. Now I just teach 1 hour a day, hour and a half, I guess. So it's one of those things that I've studied them immensely to try to help all of you because it makes me happy to see you all be successful. I know that's crazy, but somewhere deep down, I am still just a teacher at heart. But there's so many things that there's these people that they have learned that are just phenomenal. Like I watch a K-Fatty video and I'm blown away at how intelligent that guy is. I'm gonna be honest. He is insanely smart, and some of the things I'm like, my goodness, I can't watch that many things at once. I might have a coronary in the middle of the trading session, and then I'm gonna get stopped out. Thank you, Peerless. Better to use 5 minute time frame for gex levels. I do. I like 5 because it cleans up the picture if there's a bunch of lines. But I also sometimes draw on a daily. If I see a daily with a bunch of gaps and there's nothing above but some below, or I see a bunch above, and I'll give a quick pointer. We pointed out, I don't know if Laggy's still here, and I think I may have talked about it with Monst a little bit. There was a really big ghost zone on Tesla to like 200 when it was $30 away. And lo and behold, 3 weeks later, it went there. Smooth brain, this always gives me a chuckle. That's what I'm here for. There's no other way for me to do it because I don't have that big brain. I do need to figure out, oh yeah, and the Apple 150 one. Now look at Apple. But that took 3 weeks for Apple to move to 150. Where were we in the 140, 137? Simply buying a 150 con a month out, you'd have gotten a couple 100%. I mean, it's crazy. 138. So we got over a $12 move in a 3 week period. That's crazy. Maybe Intech's next. Everything else on it looks like garbage. So we have to see. For what it's worth, everybody go draw Intech at the end of this, like I taught you to do. There is a ghost zone to 49 that makes no sense to us. It's nonsensical. Its dark pool data is garbage. I do believe its back test is garbage, but it's got a ghost zone to 49 for some reason. Can I guess my average hold time? 10 minutes? 15 minutes? It's pretty short. Where's the ghost zone? Ghost zones are these levels here. Levels in between here that can be pushed and pulled by market net flow. So you have really positive, bullish market net flow. You can cover 410, 18 to 412, 44 with these. You break it hard. With more positive call flow, you can get there. If you saw yesterday, we had insanely positive call flow happening on the way down here. Whole way down, call holders never gave up. Then they hammered them, and we moved, obviously, a boatload. I think that's all I have for the night. We've gone over an hour, even though the first 13 minutes was me not knowing how to work the stream. Does anybody have any other questions before we go? Most important tool. Hey, welcome, David. Nerdor, I would say, you're welcome, Jay. Most important tool is we checked Tesla earlier, Casper, so just go back and watch the stream again when it's over. Bless you. I bless you all for millions. Everybody get that Oprah money. I'll answer that last question. And this is an important one, Nerdor. You should be focusing on your levels and your MNF, your market net flow. Start there. Start with focusing on what market net flow is saying in the levels, and then play those levels. Gex works any time frame. Yep. Okay. I love y'all. I need to go have supper with my wife now. It's almost 8:30 here in Kansas. Appreciate all of you coming. Next week, maybe I can get the link right, because I think we had like a couple hundred people that didn't get to show back up. Good night. Everybody enjoy your evening.